Hello there! Kestra has had yes another release. This time we are on to 0.24 and there are a bunch of interesting features that you definitely want to try out. Starting things off, we've got the new playground feature, which will allow you to interact with your workflows one task at a time. This feature is especially useful when building data processing flows where you typically start with tasks that extract large amounts of data and take a while to run, and you need to inspect the output before knowing what kind of transformation you might be required. Now you can do that by working on the transformation task without having to rerun the extraction task at the start. If you've ever worked with a Jupyter notebook, you might be familiar with this pattern, and now that is possible in Kestra. Next up is a brand new core property called task caching. This allows you to cache individual tasks for an hour, 2 hours, or multiple days at a time. This is super useful if, again, like the previous example where you're extracting data quite a lot, it just means you can cache that downloaded data rather than downloading it every single time, especially if you know the data is not going to change super regularly. This just saves you having to download tons of different files just for them to be the same. Next up is our brand new dynamic drop-downs for inputs, powered by the brand new HTTP function expression. Previously, Kestra supported select and multi-select inputs where you'd hard-code the values, or from 0.19 the option to be able to use an expression to pull it from a key value store, for example. But now with the new HTTP function, you can now make a request to dynamically fetch the information you want to display in your inputs and display those at the moment you press the execute button. This is super useful if you're maybe using a list of users or use a list of products and you need to get that data all the time. Now you can just make that request at the time you press execute. We finally got SDKs for Java, Python, JavaScript, and Go. This has been a highly requested feature, and now you can interact with Kestra using our new SDK. This is also in beta like Playground, so again, let us know in the comments below what you think of this, but now you can do things like create flows, execute flows, get information about your flows, all using these SDKs. If you're interested to learn more, we've got a dedicated video here that you can learn a lot more about how to start building with the SDK and integrate it with your Kestra instance. We've also introduced a new plugin for Kestra. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is a plugin for Kestra in Kestra. This means now you can get information about your Kestra instance as well as other instances of Kestra. So if you're running multiple, maybe a production and a develop instance, now you can get information about executions, flows, namespaces, all using this new plugin. This should hopefully help those who are managing multiple instances be able to centralize information. We've also got a brand new execution dependency view. This allows you to follow the runtime dependencies from your parent flow to the last child flow. It helps to simplify that troubleshooting process by providing a clear overview of what's going on between all these different flows. Custom dashboards have been a thing in Kestra for a few releases now, but we've now given you the option to export your data in a tabular format. So if you want to then export that, chuck it into Google Sheets or Excel to be able to do further operations on top of what the Kestra dashboards can do, now you can do that. So hopefully this will enable those who already have big reporting systems or dashboards and they just want to be able to get the data out of Kestra and be able to pass it over to their existing systems. In the Enterprise Edition, we've introduced the new app catalog. You can now showcase your apps to your entire organization. So this means that if you've got apps that you want other people to use, you can share those to the catalog and make it easy for other users to jump in and use them. We've now introduced a new authentication screen in open source to make sure that you can keep your instance nice and secure. When you first boot up Kestra with 0.24, you'll be prompted just to put a few login details so that when you then launch it the next time, you'll know how to log in. We hope this will make your instance nice and secure when you deploy it. And to wrap up, we've got a bunch of new plugins too. So not only do we have the Kestra plugin, we've got a new plugin for Notion to allow you to be able to interact with your Notion instance. We've also got a bunch of new AI plugins such as Minstrel, DeepSeek, Claude, Gemini, and more. So if you're looking to make AI workflows, Kestra has never been better. But I haven't forgotten, there is also 6 new languages in Kestra as well, just to make it a little bit easier to build with these dedicated plugin tasks. So we've got PHP, Perl, Lua, Deno, Groovy, and Bun. So if you're big into JavaScript or maybe one of those other languages, you've now got plenty of options for building your workflows. So that's just a taste of what 0.24 has to offer. I would recommend checking out the full release notes in the description below, where there are a bunch of extra features that have been announced that I haven't discussed in this this video. So do let us know what you think of 0.24. We're going to have a podcast episode coming out pretty soon where myself and Benoit, our product owner, are going to discuss all of these features in more detail. So if you're keen to learn more, stay tuned for that, as well as more dedicated videos on these new features.